All right, the Hardcore Record Podcast, episode 17 with consumer culture. So, I caught this band playing a show at Deep Cuts in Medford, Mass, and I was blown away by the creativity and enjoyment of them performing. Talking to them after the show, I was able to see this even more. Since then, I have been following them online and getting to see more of what they are about. They push themselves to challenge today's issues in society while coming from such a different background and challenging themselves how to play. They are an enjoyment to see play live, and I recommend that you go see them when you get a chance. So take a listen, enjoy, and get out to shows. So, this is the Hardcore Record Podcast. Just to start, this is consumer culture. I caught you guys out in Medford in Massachusetts with Miracle Blood. And I think I first started talking to, I forget his name with the white beard there.
Paul.
Paul. But he had dropped his guitar right before you started to play. I don't know if he remembers that. Yeah. And I was like, oh no. I'm like, and then I saw him on stage and I'm like, I hope there's nothing wrong with the guitar.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. So, but yeah, you guys you just blew me away. I thought it was absolutely awesome. So,
thank you, man.
Yeah. I guess I'm looking to start with why don't we start with kind of like how the band started?
Okay. So I started the band under a different name around probably 2015, but it was really loose and it was just kind of these songs I had from previous bands and kind of just finding whoever I could to play them. And then around 2017, I was like, okay, I want to actually record a demo and have a band. And then it sort of evolved into 2018. We changed the band name with the first album release, and the lineups changed a bunch. Paul has been in the band since 2019, right? When 2019?
I would think you asked me around mid 2019, and we started jamming, probably maybe in the late summer, early fall. Maybe we started jamming. I think that's when you asked me, and then we played 2 shows, and then COVID happened.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So there's been me playing with other bands, and then COVID, and then I broke my leg, and then it's just.
And we met because I had a other band that was having an album release party in 2017, and I just wanted to have a band in the bill that was people I didn't know because some of the circle of people I've played with in Baltimore for a long time. Some of just weren't going to shows anymore and stuff like that. So I just wanted to kind of find some new people to work with, and we came across each other. I can't remember exactly how it happened again, but I was because of this other band that the old drummer for the band was in, and I had booked them for a show or something, and when I saw the early version called Grassroots was the first time Grassroots played that, and I liked it right away. So I was and we became friends really quickly. We started going to each other's shows all the time. And that's how kind of it's this part of the band became a thing.
Cool.
Yeah. But yeah, what I was saying was the between COVID and me getting busy with other bands, and I broke my leg in 2021. The band had been on and off, and has had several different iterations, but we've had this lineup since March of last year was when Annie joined, and Paulie had been playing with us since 2022, and then so Paul's been in the band since 2019, Paulie's been in the band since 2022, and Annie joined March of last year.
Nice. Well,
yeah, so that's kind of the speed run of the beginning of the project and how we got here.
If we hit March beginning of next year, will that be the longest time the band's had a stable lineup?
We were talking about this the other day. I can't remember. I think so. Yeah, it's always been tweaked a little bit, but this lineup feels really solid, and I'm really happy with it. And it's definitely changed the whole songwriting process a little bit too with this lineup, and it feels like it's really becoming what I've always wanted a band to feel like. So it's really cool.
Yeah, it's real. I think your songs are real creative.
Thank you.
So I am interested to see, like, does like one person just come up with the idea a lot, or is it just like a big collaboration for the most part?
So some of the so I think like the most recent album we put out was like something I had written as kind of like a it was almost kind of like a short kind of concept, not really a concept album, but I always kind of have like an idea of like what I want like the narrative and storyline to be. And I'll just kind of be like, okay, here's the songs. But now this new batch of songs we're working on, and most of the stuff you heard us play, that's been more collaborative. And there's like some songs that I wrote. There's some that, Paul and Paulie wrote. There's a song where we were like, Annie, we need a bass line for something, like just a cool bass line that we can vamp on for a while. So it's definitely been a lot more collaborative with this lineup. But most of the stuff we have released right now is stuff that I wrote and just kind of like presented to like whatever the lineup was at that time.
Nice.
Mm.
I guess we'll go around each of you and basically, when did you know you wanted to start playing music, and like what made you kind of like pick up the instrument you play now?
Here, I want to start with Annie and Polly since they haven't talked yet.
Okay.
Hello. I think for me it developed because I like took piano lessons. I wanted to take piano lessons when I was like 5, 6, and then from there I just kind of picked up more and more, like guitar, played little drums, played some bass. And then when I was getting ready to go into college, I had this minute where I was like, I think this is like my favorite thing that I like to do. So that was when I decided to major in music. And then from there,
Nice.
I sort of felt like, well, like success would be doing music in any way. So it kind of just built over time. And then, I just kind of kept putting myself out there till I found like different groups that I like to work with. And then it kind of just developed naturally. Yeah.
Yeah, so I started playing drums when I was like 10, and it took me a minute, but like definitely in like the first year of playing, I got really excited about it. I was playing all the time, I was learning all the Metallica songs and stuff, and I really had a passion for drums. And then it kind of during COVID, I kind of wasn't playing as much, and then when I started playing in the band that I got introduced to, then I kind of found more of a passion for making music or like playing live music in a band more than just drums. And it's kind of a mix of both now, and it's just been playing since. I'm enjoying it. Love it.
Nice.
My father was a guy who like loved music. Like he went to like, he was only 20 years older than me, and so he went to like Woodstock and like saw like all the like, he saw Zeppelin 4 times. So I grew up in a house where like the speakers were part of the furniture, like 70s style, were like this giant speakers and stuff like that.
I had
And,
those.
he played guitar. He played guitar as like a hobby, and but there was always guitars in the house. Anytime I look at pictures of our house back in the day, there's always like an acoustic in the back of the room. I remember when he bought a little electric guitar, like when I was in junior high or whatever, and I would mess around with it all the time. And I just loved music. I would sit on the couch and like listen to his vinyls, and like I was obsessed with early MTV because it came out when I was under 10 when it came out, so I was like watch it all the time, And I just loved music so much. It was like my favorite thing, and like and horror movies back then. And as when I finally started playing, so my friend that I went to grade school with played guitar before me. And without name dropping, he's actually famous. And we used to like hang out at his house and like obsess about like Van Halen records and AC/DC records and all this stuff. And just from all that experience, and I started playing bass all the time. But originally I got a bass before I had a guitar. Besides playing my dad's guitar, it just kind of started snowballing where I was playing guitar and bass every day after school, and it's all I wanted to do, much to my mom particularly's unhappiness. And it just kind of kept going, and I joined a band when I was 18 that was a hardcore band. I was like the youngest guy in the band, and we toured. I just got like the bug, and I've never looked back, so that's kind of how it happened. I was definitely
Nice.
a kid that grew up in a house of big rock records, and I was like really into thrash. And then the hardcore kids turned me on to punk and everything, and that's kind of how it all came together.
For me, I took piano lessons when I was a little kid, and I was like, this is so boring. And then I got an acoustic guitar when I was in like 6th grade, and I was like, this is boring too. And then I got an electric guitar, and the second I started playing with some like distortion, I was like, okay, this is cool. So I appreciate piano a lot more, and I really wish I stuck with it, honestly. And I love my acoustic too. But it was, I don't know, there was something about like just playing power chords and just kind of beating up the instrument. I was like, oh, this is really fun. This is exciting. And let me just finish. And then and then I just always wanted to play in bands with people, and I always like playing music with other people. I still feel like to this day, like, you know, I can have all this music equipment around me, but like I need someone to like bounce ideas off of and like kind of keep me like focused and like tell me like it, you know, if I show someone a song idea and they're like, I don't know, you know, maybe I'll be like, yeah, you're right, like maybe this isn't great. So like you know, for me, it was like I always liked playing music with other people, and then once I started like really making friends like in the scene and stuff, and especially like making friends like outside of Baltimore and like DC area. Like we're from Baltimore, but it's like we have some really good friends in like New York and North Carolina, and you know now New England. So it's like, you know, every year that, you know, that circuit gets a little bit bigger, and like it just keeps like reinforcing like, yeah, this is what I want to do, because it's just cool meeting all these different people that I probably would have never met if I didn't, you know, pick this thing up. And that they're in the same exact boat as me, where it's like we all have this thing and shared ideals, and it's just like a nice community of people that, you know, there's not that many of us, so it's like we find each other and it's cool and we make cool stuff happen. You wanted to say something?
I just think it's funny that you thought piano was boring, and Annie like really wanted to play piano, and like most kids do not.
I thought that too.
Piano.
Yeah.
And the first thing Annie said, I just laughed to myself. And Annie's like, I want to play piano, and it's like I remember my aunt. I didn't have a piano in the house. I had the guitars, and my aunt down the street and my 3 cousins. They all took piano lessons, I think. At least 2 of them did, and they never did anything with it or followed up with it. But every time I went over to that house, I would tinker with that piano. I remember when I was little. You know what I mean? I was over there a lot, and I would just like mess with it. I didn't know what I was doing, but I was just kind of drawn to it. I just like to play with it. You know, it's just kind of piano is interesting. I'm just wondering now if like when they're saying that, how I would have reacted if my parents like, you're getting piano lessons, like a lot of parents do. You know, I taught guitar for a little while, and I got to tell you, there's a lot of parents out there who want their kids to play guitar, and the kids don't want to play guitar, and trying to teach kids guitar who do not want to play guitar is really, really rough. It's painful because they just don't have. Because if you're going to play guitar and take your little fingers and like press down on these metal wires, and it hurts at first, you know, it's like trying to convince an 8-year-old that's just being put there because their parents think they should do something like that. It's just like I had to tell at least one parent, I was like, do not pay for this anymore. You know, just don't pay for it.
Yeah. What would you say, or how do I want to say it? So, what would be like one of your biggest influences that you listen to for the instrument you play? You know what I mean?
Okay, so I'm the vocalist, and I love all my weird little vocal effects, and that's definitely 100% like Mike Patton, Mr. Bungle stuff. Like, I remember Paul got me hip to that stuff, and I was just like, this is it. This is so cool. And all their albums sound way different, and I don't even think we necessarily sound like them.
No,
but it's definitely like a, like, I don't know, what do you say? It's like the unpredictability and the excitement.
I was lucky enough to see them back in the day because I'm old enough that I was there for those albums when they were touring. And the most important thing to me about those shows, besides like the amazing songs and like the cool musicianship and how different it was and how like shocking it was because it was so different at the time, their shows always had this sense of like danger and horror, and like you didn't know what the hell was going to happen next. Like you didn't know what to expect. They were someone described Mike Patton perfectly the other day. They said that Mike Patton is true neutral. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like he ain't chaotic neutral. That was it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And it made me laugh really hard, and because it's very true. Like you just didn't know what was going to happen. Like he just like, and all those. And I saw them like 8 times in the '90s, and it was just like every time was like something mind blowing happened, and they would do these things where like they would like just push and push and push the crowd. The crowd would get so mad at them, and then they'd give them just a little of what the crowd wanted, and the place would be like bedlam. You know what I mean? It was astonishing. I've never seen another band do that like that, and that's to me is what made Mr. Bungle great. You know what I'm saying? In that period, that's why Disco Volante is my favorite, because that album is a giant example of that. You know, but so
I got Paul all riled up.
Yeah.
Yeah, here, let me ask Paulie.
For me, it's 100% the Dillinger Escape Plan. They're my biggest influence by far, particularly Chris Penny on This Machine. That album, I think once our newer stuff comes out, a lot of the stuff in that album, if you play drums, you'll be able to tell. Like, I'd pick up a lot of the licks from him and Billy Reimer, and they just like their songwriting influences, like their process for me is like similar to what we're doing right now. For some of our songs, like there's this one song called Monkey in the Middle, and it kind of follows their style. You know, it might not be obvious on the outside, but like to me, I hear a lot of things from there. There's a lot of other bands too, but that's definitely like the number one for me.
Did you ever get to see him live?
I didn't get to see him before like the breakup in 2017. I saw them on their like reunion thing with Dimitri, but I don't feel like that was the same as like if you saw him with Greg back in the day, or even with Dimitri with the OG lineup.
Yeah. I seen him once, and they had strobe lights the whole time, and I had to hang out in the bathroom because I couldn't take it.
Oh, when was that? What year?
Don't remember the year, but it was at the Trocadero in Philly, and that place is closed down now. So, yeah,
they were crazy though.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
For me in college, I think was when I really started getting into like heavier like rock music, and I was really more of a guitar player at the time, so I was really into Queens of the Stone Age and Melvins, and those two bands I think were like kind of the ones where I was like, I want to write songs like their songs. I love them. But then when I started playing more bass, I got much more like into jazz stuff, and so from there, honestly, it was most of like the guys like around the scene at the time who were like a few years older than me, and I was kind of like, well, the way that they play, like they can do everything. They can do like all these different feels. They rock. They can solo. So yeah, I think like those two bands were like the sound that I wanted to kind of have with a band. But then like my personal playing was more like, I think a little personal with like friends that I knew, you know. Yeah.
Nice.
Guitar. Really quick too. It's funny because just about this lineup too. I was thinking about this after you finished about it, but I think what's making this so cohesive too is that me and Annie have actually been friends for a while too, from a different angle. I met Annie because I used to book jazz in these little restaurants and bars in my neighborhood, and Annie was in that lineup of people I would book for like jazz bookings, basically like 3 to 6 play for a couple sets and you get some money kind of and stealing and some food or whatever, and I would book. And me and Andy became friendly that way, So it's kind of been like it's helped this cohesion like we have together. It's been really nice. We have a really good rapport on the road and everything. It's been kind of it's been wonderful from my perspective because I've definitely been in situations where it wasn't that and it's really something to not to I don't take it for granted, I guess is what I'm saying. But in any case, for guitar. My dad. I remember like my dad playing guitar, and like when I was like 2 or 3 in Queens. I'm a New Yorker in the beginning, and touching like the strings as he was playing me like this song he made up about the ABCs to me when I was little, and then but really the thing that really kicked it off for me was when I heard like a lot of people was I heard Van Halen. My dad bought 1984, and I heard Hot for Teacher, and it just changed my brain forever. And I would say the other acts that have changed my brain like that were definitely like Megadeth and Metallica. I love those bands. I also thought that Bobby Gustafson from Overkill was my favorite of the thrash guitar players, but he was only in Overkill for a few albums, and after that I didn't like them anymore really, because it was his guitar playing I liked. Sonic Youth, My Bloody Valentine, big changes for me, like advancing, and stuff like that. I love Trace Bruins' stuff, and from Bungle, whatever, and Secret Chiefs. I think those are those would be like my primary influences,
Nice. What are you listening to now? Like today, what's on your playlist today?
Listen to something this morning. Here, someone else start.
I'm moving elsewhere now, but I've been really into Latin music a lot, and they can all bear witness to that.
Yeah.
I listen to some of that today.
No, hold on. I get looking at different things because every once in a while I get into like female French pop singers. I don't know what it is, but yeah, gone.
I honestly still listen to the Dumpster Escape Plan.
Yeah.
That's like, it's like a lot of they were like my top artists this year. But some like newer stuff that I've been listening to. I mean, I'm a huge fan of Chat Pile. We get a lot of comparisons to them because we're a noise rock adjacent band. I really like this band called Vane FM. They're like a metallic hardcore band. I don't really know what the genre is specifically, but they're like a newer band, like I guess the past 10 years. We like Gojira a lot. I'm a big fan of them. A lot of heavy
What
stuff.
was that band?
Gojira.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, their drumming is insane. I listen to that. So.
Yeah, I had spent so much time playing heavy stuff for years and like listening to heavy stuff. There was a period where, I think around the early 2000s, where I went down this whole, kind of like Annie's doing with the Latin music, where like I just wanted to listen to like all the funk music I could find. I just like was looking for the rarest stuff, and I go through periods like that. And it's really been since, because, all right, I'll just pop that balloon, but Paulie's my kid, so we've been playing together in the house forever, and he started when he was but it's important because when he was learning Metallica stuff, I knew how to play all this stuff because that's how I learned how to play guitar. So we would jam it in the basement, you know what I mean? And it kind of pulled me back into playing that kind of music again because I was playing jazz in the city and I was scoring films for a long time. Like I've done music for like Troma and stuff like that. So I've done like a lot of work like that, and like so I got into all these other types of music over the years. But my roots are hardcore and metal, and then meeting Marshall just kind of pulled me back into that. Like when Marshall asked me to play, I was like, definitely. I like loved what he was doing, and it just kind of became. It kind of brought me back to my roots and everything. So like, I guess that's the main point is that it's been kind of a wild ride, just like I'm like playing through my half stack all the time again and all that stuff. You know what I mean?
What are you listening to?
What I'm listening to right now, right? I got distracted because there's just so much information that goes through my head about it. Well, I listen to what they're listening to, so I get to listen to a lot of different stuff. But I've been obsessed with Vagrant Boys. I fucking love Vagrant Boys. I love that. I love their stuff. I've been listening to them all year. I listened to this Infinity Knives album with Brian Needles. I love that came out this year. And the other one, the other album I listened to a lot this year was the newest Stereolab album, which I really thought was awesome.
I had to look up what I've been listening to lately because I forget. But yeah, me and Paul had the same top track this year. It was that it was off that Brian Ennals and Infinity Knives album. So I've been listening to that a lot lately. My favorite band right now, I think, is Gorilla Toss. I don't know if you're familiar with them. They're awesome.
Yeah.
They're really cool. Yeah, I really like I don't know, I've been listening to like a lot of Gil Scott-Heron lately. I used to play in this funk band that did a lot of his covers and like renditions. Shout out Joe Keys. And yeah, I don't know, just like with all the crazy stuff going on, there's like something really like calming about his music because it's just like he's not really like angry. He's just kind of like pointing it out, and it's like very comforting to hear like someone articulate it in like a really like nice way. like not nice, but like he's saying all the same stuff you'll hear some punk band do, but it's like stuff you can just like listen to and you can actually hear every word he's saying, and you kind of like hear, you know, like the emotion behind it. And I don't know, it's just nice. Like he's got a song called B Movie that I think everyone should just be like mandatory listening before you get mad at anything going on in politics right now. Just take 10 minutes and listen to B Movie by Gil Scott-Heron and decide, like, is this actually something worth getting, you know, riled up about, or is this all just part of the B movie we're in, you know? I'm giving it back to Paul.
Yeah, I like when you listen to that stuff. I enjoy it when you play it in the band a lot. It's good because especially 'cause I love all the old funk stuff and the old soul stuff, and I'm always listening to old soul and funk at my jobs and stuff like that too. I should mention that. Like I'm almost always listening to that kind of music daily, whether it's, you know, anything from Parliament to like Marvin Gaye to Barry White. I love all that classic stuff. It's like really part of my daily routine, honestly.
Also been listening to a lot of Weapon of Choice, which is a cool like funk band, like funk rock band from the 90s. They did some stuff with Angelo Moore from Fishbone.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
really cool.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Paul.
I love The Fall of Troy. I forgot to mention.
Okay.
They're one of my favorite bands.
I've
of all
heard
time.
of them, yeah.
But I just forgot to mention. That was worth a mention.
Nice.
We're all over the place.
Yeah, no, that's good. I think everybody needs to be all over the place. You know?
Oh, yeah.
It just makes your whole day better. It's like you can't just be in one mood anytime. All
Yeah,
the time,
exactly.
You know? Yeah. What was I gonna say here? Where can you guys, or where can people purchase your music, and what's the best way to contact you?
You can get it on all the streaming stuff, but you should get it on Bandcamp or just like message us and we'll like mail you a CD. Yeah, you know, we put it out on everything, but you know, this streaming stuff is getting out of control, and I really want to try and direct people to Bandcamp. You know, you don't even have to buy it. Like it's up there for pay what you want. So, you know, you can buy our whole discography for $1. That's still more than Spotify's ever going to give us. So, you know, but yeah, it's everywhere. You know, like whatever you listen to it on, it's there.
And do you have a preference on a social media platform you use?
I'm pretty active on the Instagram. Not like the Instagram account, not like the Instagrams.
I know, yeah.
You know,
yeah.
that's not what but
I got you.
I don't smoke the devil's cabbage. I vape it. But yeah, that's Instagram's probably the best place to reach out to us, or just send us an email.
Nice. What's next for the band?
So right now we're recording some new music, planning some touring for the next year. Working on some January dates right now, working on some March dates. We're probably coming back up your way in March. So
nice.
Hopefully we'll see you again. But
Yeah.
we just want to do like some more touring, you know. We want to try and like when this album comes out, we want it to be a big deal. We, you know, want to stay on top of promoting it and trying to get people to, you know, get hip to it, see if we can find like any other label, because we're on the Ghost is Clear right now. But I know I've seen a couple other bands have done like multi-label releases, and you know, if anybody's interested, you know, let's talk. Shit's expensive. we can like split the cost 3 ways instead of 2 ways. That'd be great.
Yeah. I remember seeing records like that many times. People still do that now too. You know. Yeah.
Our friends in Nub just did that. It was like Ghost is Clear, Hex Records, and then some other label I can't remember. But yeah, they're awesome too. Nub. But yeah, just working on new music, trying to do some more touring. We've done a lot of like weekend runs and stuff, but for March, we're thinking about, you know, maybe just going out for like a full week or something. We're going to talk about it after this, so maybe not. But yeah, we're just trying to do some more touring, go out a little bit farther. We've kind of established a couple of home bases up from like New England down to North Carolina. So might be good to like push out a little bit farther south or like go a little farther north because we haven't gone to like Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine and stuff like that. So we want to do that next.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, I urge anyone that's listening to this or stumbles upon it, definitely listen to Consumer Culture. Yeah, because you blew me away. I absolutely enjoyed your band. I enjoyed that whole show that night. That was awesome. It took me an hour and a half to get up there because I hit like an accident. It normally would have been like 50-minute drive for me, but yeah. So.
Yeah, that was a great show, and Deep Cuts was a really cool venue. So we definitely would like to get back up there.
Yeah, it was the first time I ever went to that too.
Cool spot. Good food.
All right. Well, I'm good. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks a bunch, man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Normally don't do them during the week.
He told us to ask us whatever, and Annie brought here.
Yeah.
Pounds and pounds of these. Here, hold this.
Okay.
I have more in the car. Just kidding.
Yeah.
I brought some records.
Let's share them. Go for it.
Here's my Latin one. This is 50 themes. It's like a big medley of like one side there's like 30 cha-chas, but the problem with this one is the track listing is out of order, so you have to kind of like decode it. Like so there's like 30 melodies, but the listing is out of order, so you don't really know what you're listening to.
That's funny.
Yeah. This one's pretty sick. This is like a comp from a DJ who lives in Europe named DJ Sofa. And this is just like it's called Elsewhere. It's really hard. I don't really understand. It says VA Elsewhere CC. And he just like, clearly found all these awesome tracks from like the 80s to the 2000s. So this really rocks. And he's on Instagram too, so I'll promote him for free. This is a good one. This is called How to Belly Dance for Your Sultan. And it's a bunch of like Turkish Greek music, and I think something that every girl has to listen to in her life. And then one more. This is actually, I think, one of my personal favorites. I was really excited to get. This is Dorothy Ashby Afro Harping, and this is like a really cool vibe. You can throw this on and like vibe out. It's really, really cool. So those are my 4 favorite records I brought in.
Nice.
Yeah.
Annie has a huge record collection, so she's got us all beat, I think.
Yeah.
My favorite one is actually a local band up your way called Crippling Alcoholism. I don't know if you've heard of them. They're awesome. They put out this album like last year called Love from a Padded Room, and I grabbed one of those on records. It's like a double record. It's awesome. I want to get their new one too. I'm hoping I can see them and get that at the merch table, but that's probably like my favorite one, honestly, because it's just like, it's cool that I remember I heard that album and it's like an hour long, and I was like, when's the last time I've seen like a band from like a local like heavy band put out something that's more than like 40 minutes? Like, it's like an hour long album. It's a double LP.
Wow. And
it looks so good, and it's just such a like perfect encapsulation of how that record makes me feel. Like, it's just the whole package. It's my favorite one for sure. Like record, like you're asking like physical vinyl we have, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, probably doesn't got any.
Oh, okay. You have to get them started.
I grabbed the that Infinity Knives on vinyl. I'm trying to think of the last few. I saw Clutch in the last year, and I bought the 20th anniversary pressing of Blast Tyrant, which is one of my favorite heavy rock records. And I recently acquired 2 later records from a band called Wheatus that they've like later career stuff that they put out in the last, like, I guess, and they have some really cool like deep cuts on them that I think are kind of like worth checking out if you've never heard them. They really get some cool later stuff from that group that I thought was really interesting.
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, so that's all the vinyl you got, or do you got more, Annie?
I can run home and grab them if you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, Paulie's got our record, and that's his final answer.
Nice. Yeah. All right. So yeah, sorry I missed that question before. I totally.
No, it's
forgot.
all good.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, thanks again for having us, man.
Yeah, no problem.
This is really cool.